dobry, witam serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku programu English Breakfast Extra. Dawno nas nie było, ale jak wracamy to z wielkim przytupem. Dzisiaj waszym i moim gościem będzie człowiek, który jest nie tylko legendą Manchester United, ale myślę, że legendą Premier League, bo to trzeci najlepszy strzelec w klasyfikacji wszechczasów. Nikomu chyba specjalnie nie trzeba przedstawiać tego gościa, to Andrew Cole, były reprezentant Anglii i piłkarz kilku znaczących angielskich klubów. Nice to meet you here,
Thank you.
Andrew. And we have to start from Manchester United now, because a few days ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he signed a permanent contract. You didn't believe in him from the beginning, but I know for you it's a good option. It's your former colleague
It's more than a good option. It's permanent. Ollie's gone in, done an unbelievable job. Any manager who starts like that, any football club, not just Manchester United, any football club has a right to be considered as the next manager for that football club. In Ollie's case, Manchester United, and he's got the job, and I'm delighted for him. I really am, because he's had to go in there, he's had to get the results, he's had to do the hard work, and he's done that with all his coaching staff as well as the players.
Do you think his teacher was Alex Ferguson, and what's the most important? He brought a smile to the faces of players at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's essential. I think if you noticed to the end of Jose Mourinho time at Old Trafford, I think you could tell by the way the players were and the fans that they weren't very happy with the way we were playing, and the players weren't very happy. You know, but Ollie's gone in, he's galvanised the place. The players, you can see the players, the way they're playing now. It's more like Manchester United. You see the fans, they're happy, and it's like a cloud's been lifted, and the football's been a lot freer now. There's been more goals and more entertainment. That's what Manchester United is about.
Now it's going to be a really tough task. What does he need to do next season when he wants to fight for a title with Manchester United? Because I think this is his target number one, the next season.
Yeah, of course it's going to be. What you have to try and do, first and foremost, you need to try and close the gap on Manchester City and Liverpool. And by doing that, you've got to win football matches, you've got to try and bring in the right acquisitions, and you've got to try and entice players to come to Old Trafford, and you know, hopefully they can see the future the way Ollie's going to want to see it. But it's going to be difficult. You know, we have to finish into the top four again. We have to qualify for Champions League football, which any top player wants to play in. We need to put this aside, whereby players are sort of it's all about finances. It's not all about finances, because all the top players want to play Champions League football season in, season out. So Man United have to try and finish in the top four.
I saw your reaction during the Champions League draw. It was brilliant when they showed a card with Barcelona. Mission impossible?
No mission's impossible. I just had a feeling that we was going to get Barcelona. You know, everything that's stacked up to getting Barcelona. It's 20 years this year that, you know, we won the Champions League in Barcelona. You know, we played Barcelona twice that season, so I just had a strong feeling that we'd get them. And then it gets pulled out of the hat, and we got Barcelona. Naturally, it's going to be a very tough game because Barcelona are a top team, and so I think it was where all teams want to emulate to try and get to Barcelona. Barcelona have loads of special players, and they have the world's best player in Lionel Messi. And I'm not going to sit and say we need to try and stop him, because that would be stupid me trying to say that, because everyone tries to stop him but they can't. You know, all Manchester United have to do is try and play to the best of their ability, cause Barcelona as many problems as possible, and hopefully after doing all that, you know, we can win the game. And it's as simple as that. Football's not going to change.
Can you see a player like Andrew Cole in Manchester United 2019?
No. Definitely not, because the game's changed. You know, a lot of teams are only playing with one striker now and two out wide and that. But in general, I don't think, you know, you're going to see, as people perceive it now, number nines, loads of number nines who want to score goals, who want to get in the box and score goals and whatever. You know, I'd love to see someone like me playing for Manchester United, because the chances that they're starting to create now You know, it's just a case of taking those chances to win football matches. But unfortunately, there's definitely not one of me around.
It always amazes me when people say all he can do is score goals. That's a quote from Sir Alex Ferguson many years ago about you. He said it's the most famous quote in football. It was after they brought you in to Manchester United from Newcastle United.
Yeah.
£7 million, actually £6 million, and Keith Gillespie.
Yeah.
And it's funny money now, £7 million.
Yeah,
for a striker like you.
That is proper funny money. I don't think you can buy a centre forward for the Premier League now for £7 million. You know? So yeah.
Polish defender from Lech
yeah.
Poznań to Southampton, Jan Bednarek, he cost like £4 or £5 million.
There you go. So, you know, and he's never going to get as many goals as me, is he?
Probably.
You know? So yeah, that's not a bad quote though. All he does is score goals. I'd say that. I'm more than happy with that quote. I'm more than happy with that.
I love another quote. It's from you. It's yours. You said it a few years ago. I moved to Manchester and stayed at agent's house. It was Paul Stratford. Stratford. He made me part of the family. I thought it was a generous gesture. I later found out he'd been deducting rent from my earnings. That's all about football, right?
That's football. You never stop learning. You never stop learning. It's a strange one, you know. I thought he brought me in, you know, not just as a player that he represented, but as a friend and a friend for life. But as the quote says, you know, people you love don't stay in your life forever. And he was definitely one of those. But you live and learn. You know, I'm still learning now. You know, the last 4.5 years has been an eye-opening experience for me. You know, to realise just what life's all about. You know, and that was another part of it. But we continue to live, we continue to learn, and you know, I'm striving to become a better person.
It's especially when you're a professional footballer that you have to learn. Who's your friend. And who wants something more, something else?
Yeah. You know what? One of the best quotes I ever got was from Roy Keane. I get on really well with Roy. We was having a laugh and John. He said to me, Cody, what you need to remember, yeah, the most we're going to have possibly 5, 6 people will carry your coffin, and you can name those on obviously 2 hands. Those are your best mates. And I didn't see it like that at first. I was like, oh, come on, Skip, don't be like that. And I mean, don't be so morgue about it. And then I thought about it, I said, you know what, he's right.
Yeah, he's right.
He's right.
It's brilliant.
You know? That was Roy.
187 goals in Premier League. You are the 3rd highest goal scorer in history of the competition. So let's talk about goals. 3 categories. The most beautiful goal.
For me personally, or in general?
Yeah, no, your goal, for you personally.
Most beautiful. They're all beautiful. They've got to be all beautiful, you know. From a yard, 5 yards, 10 yards, it doesn't really matter because you only get 1 goal. Most probably the chip against Everton. You know, something like that is a beautiful goal, because when people talk about he only scores goals, and then people start talking, yeah, but he scores all different kind of goals. And that's what you try and do. But I enjoy them all. For me, like I said, they're all beautiful goals, because to score a goal, to give yourself a hell of a lot of joy, but not just yourself, the fans and your teammates. That's a special feeling.
But maybe the one is the most important for you?
Every goal is important. Win, lose or draw, they're all important. People most probably talk about the most important one. It could possibly be the one against Tottenham at Old Trafford, or people talk about the Juventus one as well. And I always say, you know, the game was over. 2-2, we're going through an away goal. I get a tap in. We win 3-2. Everyone says, how important a goal was. Nah, the game was over. You know, we were going through an away goal. So.
And the most difficult to score?
Most difficult? The first one.
The first one?
The first one is always the most difficult one for me to score, because, you know, you got to believe you're good enough to get in there. I think when I first went to Manchester United, you know, to get off the mark, you know, as quick as possible. So I'm chasing the first one, and then, you know, I get off the mark, sorry, and I get the first one, and then you just try to continue from there.
It's something similar in your career and Harry Kane's career. You are both Arsenal reject, and I found a quote from George Allison, a conversation between both of you. You said, "I'm good enough to be in the first team." You were 18 years old, and you remember what he answered?
Yeah. George always said I wasn't good enough.
He said, "Who the hell are you?" or something like
Yeah, that was typical George. But many years later, he found out who I was. You know, I always believed when I was at Arsenal. You know, I signed for Arsenal when I was a kid, when I was 14 years of age. And I always believed then I was good enough to play in Arsenal's first team when I was 17, 18. George didn't think so. I believe so. He ended up sending me out on loan a couple of times. I scored goals at Fulham, I scored goals at Bristol City, and then he decided to sell me. And I've come across George many times after that, you know. See, you grow up, played my career, enjoyed it. And he talks about how good I've become and the mistakes he made and whatever. But that's all in hindsight, you know. If you believed I was good enough at the time, you know, you would have never sent me out on loan or never told me that I wasn't good enough. So, you know, that's hindsight. But I look back at my career and I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every minute of it, you know. Obviously, I'm not going to be here forever, but my footballing career was something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life.
I read a really nice interview in 442 British edition a few years ago. People, they were sending questions and you were answering, and there was a question from a Bristol City fan about Dariusz Dziekanowski, who's the better player, Dariusz Dziekanowski or Eric Cantona? And I was like, come on, because you said Dariusz Dziekanowski is better. Interesting point of view.
Dziekanowski was, oh man. But when I first went to Bristol City and the lads were telling me about Dziekanowski, because I see Jackie play at Celtic many times before, and you always look at someone and know he's talented and all that stuff. And then when I went to Bristol City, and some of the things he used to do in training was an absolute joke, and I mean a joke. He was before his time. And then when I played with him, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy is freakish. He's absolutely freakish. He used to flick the ball over people's head, and he said, no, you can't do things like that. He used to nutmeg people for fun. And I love just being around him. I learned off him, even if I didn't play a long time with him, you know, but just to know that he had that kind of quality, you know, to do that. It was a liberty, just how good he was. And people don't even talk about him. You know, they might talk about him at Celtic or whatever, but they don't talk about him enough because he was blessed with an unbelievable amount of talent.
I remember he used to play with us in our team in Przegląd Sportowy, our newspaper, as a star. Mm-hmm. So we used to call him Black Hole. It's a term from NBA because you could give him a ball and it was only two options. The first one was a goal, and the second one was a foul from the opponent. So
I can see that.
So he was amazing. Professional football is not always about friendship. You told about it a little. Your relationship with Teddy Sheringham was really strange because you didn't talk to each other for many years, but you played together. How it's possible? Because I don't understand it.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So I put it like this, you know, not everyone will get on with each another. You know, a 9-to-5 job, or why do I say 9 to 5? Because there's no hours called 9 to 5 anymore. It's 9 till 7 or whatever. You know, we all can't get on. We all can't get on because we're not all meant to get on. But if you all want the same things, you know, you're going to strive for the same things. And I was like that. When I was at Manchester United, Teddy came to Manchester United because he wanted to win things. You know, he's at Tottenham, couldn't win things at Tottenham. You know, come to Man United because he wanted to win things, and it's happened there. It wasn't for me to get on with him off the pitch, but when we were on the football pitch, we want the same things. And we proved that we could play together. I remember Gary Pallister saying to me one evening when we went out, he said to me, you know what, Coley, you two don't get on, I understand that, but just keep doing what you're doing because you're doing fantastic. And I looked at Pally, he's a senior pro to me, and for someone like that to come and take the time out to say something like that to me, that told me then that, you know, I was doing the right things, Teddy was doing the right things, and he never compromised what we was trying to do on the football pitch. Yeah, off the football pitch, we were never going to socialise or go out for a drink or whatever, but we was trying to do the right things on the pitch.
He refused to handshake when you were playing for English national team.
Yeah.
You were coming on the pitch and
Yeah.
he was coming off, yeah?
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the
Yeah,
story.
that was the beginning and the end, to be honest. It was a disappointing experience.
It hurts?
Yeah, it hurt a hell of a lot, because ultimately, when I was growing up as a YT, and I grew up in an era whereby senior pros, they could be horrible, and I mean really horrible to the young kids and that. Yeah, and some of them were hard work with me, but I was of the ilk, well, if you're going to be hard work with me, I'm going to be hard work with you, because I haven't been brought up to be walked on. So I had a few little ding-dongs with the senior pros then. And I always said to myself then, when I become a senior pro, the young pros, no, I'd never disrespect them, because I was in that position. And I felt disrespected on the touchline then, because Teddy being a senior pro and me making my England debut, you know, I think I've always watched like players making their debut, and whoever comes off making a massive beeline for that individual to make him feel comfortable and whatever. And I felt like a little boy on that day, you know. And I wasn't even interested about the game anymore. I was more interested about being snubbed on the sideline and all these people watching it happen to me. And that was a disappointing thing, because when you're going to play for England, whoever it's going to be, that's supposed to be one of the most special days of your footballing career, and for me, it never worked out that way.
Sir Alex Ferguson, we have to talk about him, because that's a story, that's an amazing story. Quarter of a century in one place as a manager. Do you think it's possible, this kind of story in modern football?
No.
Again, no.
No, definitely not. Because the game has changed so much. And when we talk about people being given time and, you know, you need to build, no one hasn't got any time for that, because everyone needs instant success. So when we talk about like the younger generation trying to give the opportunity to play for a big club or whatever, if a big club's trying to win things, we haven't got time to wait for a 17, 18-year-old kid. You know, I need instant success, and I need to spend 40, 50 million pound on that talent that's already been nurtured. You know, I can't wait for him. And it's the same as management. If I need to win things as a manager, I need to do it now. And if a manager's not winning things, he's under pressure for his job. So they're not going to be given that time whereby it might take 3 or 4 years for their program to work. And then from there you can continue to win things. No, we need to win now. We need to win now. So it becomes difficult. So I don't think we will see another manager who's going to be in a club for 25 years.
Who was the most difficult opponent for you during your time in Premier League?
They're all difficult.
I mean, defenders.
They're all difficult. I remember playing against the old Arsenal back four, Adams, Bowl, Keown, Winterburn, Dixon. They were tough. They were really, really tough. But any of the teams that are vying to try and win the Premier League, top 4, top 6 teams, they're difficult. That's why they're at the top of the table. And you always have tough opponents, even tougher more so playing for Manchester United, because everyone wants to beat Man United. So everyone, when it comes to playing against Man United, you know, everyone's game rises another 10, 20%. So that game becomes even tougher.
Your favorite forward or striker now in Premier League?
Now, my favorite one is Aguero.
Because of his consistency?
Consistency,
25
quality.
goals or more
He's quality.
every 6 last seasons.
He's quality. And if he ever stayed fit for one season, I'm not sure how many we get. Because he's that good. I'm being honest, he's that good. And, you know, I think he's the best centre forward in the Premier League by a mile. I really do. His movement, his ability to score goals, create goals, low central gravity. I just love watching him, and I think he's real quality.
I'm asking all of my guests about 4 of a kind. It's like 4 aces, players from Premier League from the past or now, as you wish. one goalkeeper, one defender, one midfielder, and one striker to your team, 4 players.
For my team I played in, or the whole Premier League?
For whole Premier League, you are the manager and you are picking up players.
Okay. So goalkeeper?
Yeah,
Schmeichel.
that's obvious.
Schmeichel, 100%. Midfield? Toss up there. I'm going for Keane.
For Keane.
Yeah, I'm going for Roy Keane. You know, I was going to toss up between him and Scholes, but I mean, I love the pair of them, but I've got to go for Roy because there's something about him that.
I have the feeling they will be all from Manchester United.
No.
Defender, striker, maybe Aguero.
Striker. I'm going for Thierry.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, Thierry is special. Real special Thierry is. And what do I need now? A centre half.
Just defender.
Defender. Oh, this is a good one. This one is. Defender.
It's usually between Rio Ferdinand and John Terry.
Between them.
But maybe you have.
To be fair, the pair of them are unbelievable players. I'm going to put Yap in there, I think. Yap Stam. Yeah.
Yep, Stam. Tough guy.
Yeah, good play.
Dutch player.
Yeah, very good player. Very, very good player.
It's a nice, 4 of a kind.
Yeah.
Peter Schmeichel, Yap Stam, Thierry Henry up front, and Roy Keane is killing everybody
There
around.
you go. we could go out to win things.
Okay. I need to ask at the end, because I read 2 or 3 days ago, brilliant interview, Guardian last year. You were really open and you told about your health. How do you feel today?
How do I feel today?
Because you're looking really healthy, you're looking good.
Yeah, externally it looks, I look healthy, but it's internally, you know, it's an ongoing battle. It's an ongoing battle. I can't sit and lie. I mean, every day is different. If every day was the same kind of day, I'd be more than happy with that. But there's ups and downs, you know. Life's not easy. Life's not easy, especially when you try to come back from a major illness, and you know, you constantly question yourself. But it is what it is. I just have to deal with each day as it comes. Some days are good, some days are bad, some days are so-so. But it is what it is.
Just to remind, because for me it's really amazing story. Your nephew gave to you his kidney.
Yeah, that's right.
You were really ill after some problems during your visit in Vietnam. Probably,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In 2015, as I remember, and it matters just more than football when you are reading something like this.
Yeah, 100%. You know, for my nephew to do that, and I think what I've realised as well, even more so, you know, there's been a lot of people that have stepped up that have surprised me. I've turned and said, wow. And there's been a lot of people who have stepped down, which has surprised me as well. So it's kind of like been a role reversal. But like I said, you know, you live and learn, and you know, all I try to do is try to become a better person each day. I'm trying, put it that way.
And the very last question is about your son, because he's on loan now in Burton Albion from Wigan Athletic. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is he a good player?
He's a good player. I think that's difficult for me to say, because naturally, of course, I'm his dad. I'm going to say he's a good player, you know. But that's for other people to judge him and say he's good enough or he's not good enough. I think he's a good player. I think in the summer he has to make a decision regarding what he wants to do. I think he's going to have to move on again to get some more game time and just get himself in a position whereby he's happy and he's playing games and scoring goals. If that's in the Championship, in League One, he has to make that decision. I've tried very hard to try and make decisions with him, but when your kids grow up and they start having thoughts about totally different things, you know, how you see things or whatever. And it's difficult playing the game, playing at a certain level, and then your kids are trying to aspire to play at a level or try and surpass you, you know. But fingers crossed in the summer he'll be able to do the right things, and you know, things will work out for him next season.
Andrew, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here in my little show. Andrew Cole był waszym i moim gościem, jak słyszeliście, rozmówca, z którym pewnie można by przegadać o Premier League dużo więcej niż tych 30 minut. Natomiast dzisiaj już się musimy żegnać. To spotkanie tutaj na Stadionie Warszawskiej Legii odbyło się dzięki firmie Chivas, która jest globalnym partnerem Manchesteru United. Andrew w związku z tym przyjechał do Polski, przyjechał do Warszawy. I need just only 15 caps in English national team. I don't understand it because 187 goals in Premier League and only 15 caps.
As I say, politics is not just in politics.
Okay.
It's in football as well. So you know, it was what it was. It wasn't meant to be my time. So hey, pinch of salt now.
Okay, thank you very much. Andrew Cole był waszym moim gościem. Dziękujemy bardzo i to wszystko w tym odcinku English Breakfast Extra. Zapraszamy do kolejnych produkcji.
It's in.